General Hospital spoilers reveal that Cyrus's death has created a massive power vacuum in Port Charles, and Laura knows that if she doesn't act quickly, the city will soon descend into unprecedented chaos. Although dangerous, Cyrus maintained a certain order in the criminal underworld, where the forces of crime had to adhere to a clear power structure. Now, with his departure, old enemies are rising, new forces are emerging, and Port Charles risks becoming a battleground of bloody purges and power struggles. As mayor, Laura has tried to maintain the city's stability through legal measures. But she knows that ordinary rules will not stop what is coming. Port Charles has never been an easy place to control, and now, with such a large power vacuum, she realizes she can no longer rely solely on the police or the legal system to maintain order. She needs a more practical solution, one that she never thought she would have to consider. And that solution is Sonny. Sonny has long been an undeniable force in Port Charles. Though operating in the criminal world, he still upholds his own code, a system that even enemies must recognize. Sonny has power, connections, and most importantly, the ability to control what happens in the city in ways the government cannot. Laura knows that if she doesn't find a way to stop Sidwell, Drew, and other emerging forces, Port Charles could soon become a lawless place. People like Sidwell don't follow Sonny's rules. If he gains control, Port Charles could fall into the hands of a criminal organization without boundaries, willing to do anything to achieve its goals. So, Laura is forced to make a bold decision, an agreement she never thought she would make. Laura proposes a deal. Her administration will not raid or interfere with Sonny's operations, but in return, he must ensure that Port Charles remains safe. That means Sonny must keep his activities within limits, avoid widespread violence, and most importantly, prevent any new forces from taking control of the city. Sonny immediately understands that this is a rare opportunity. For years, he has tried to maintain a fragile balance between controlling the underworld and not provoking the authorities too much. If Laura is willing to cooperate, he can continue his operations without worrying about police or the mayor's intervention. But this is also a huge responsibility. If he fails to maintain stability, Laura may be the first to turn against him, and the deal could become a double-edged sword. Laura also understands that she's stepping into a moral gray area. She has spent her career fighting for justice, protecting Port Charles from forces like Sonny. But now, she must accept a reality. If she doesn't compromise with Sonny, more ruthless people may take his place. And when that happens, not only will she be at risk, but the entire city will pay the price. This deal is not just about maintaining order in Port Charles. It's also about power, who truly controls the city. If Sonny can ensure that violence doesn't escalate and that forces outside his control don't take over, this deal may be the best thing Laura can do in the current situation. But if Sonny fails, if violence continues to escalate, if people like Sidwell or other emerging organizations take advantage of the situation to expand their influence, Laura may face terrible consequences. She could be seen as a corrupt mayor who compromised with crime for short-term stability. This would not only affect her career but could threaten her life as well. Sonny, although a formidable force, also understands that this situation could change at any moment. He can control what's happening now, but if anyone challenges his power, if old enemies return or new forces rise, everything could quickly spiral out of control. The biggest question now is: can Sonny really keep his promise? Can he protect Port Charles in the way Laura expects, or will this deal become the biggest mistake she's ever made? One thing is certain, Port Charles is entering a new era, and Laura's decision will shape the future of the entire city. Kevin's death at Sidwell's hands has shaken all of Port Charles, and for Laura, this is not just a personal loss but also a powerful blow to the stability she has tried to maintain. Kevin was not only her husband but also the person who had always been by her side during the hardest times, helping her stay grounded even when everything around her was falling apart. But now, he is gone, and this event marks not only a turning point in Laura's life but also sets the stage for a chaotic adjustment throughout the city. Kevin's death is not just a random attack, it's a message from Sidwell, a warning that he is not afraid to act to achieve his goals. Sidwell doesn't just want power, he wants to assert that no one can stand in his way. And now, he has declared war on Laura and anyone who dares oppose him. But what Sidwell doesn't expect is that, instead of weakening Laura's spirit, Kevin's death has made her stronger than ever. She is no longer a woman simply trying to maintain peace, she has become a warrior, someone willing to do anything to destroy the man who took the person she loved the most. But Laura knows she can't do this alone. She needs an ally, someone who can help her overthrow Sidwell, not just for revenge but also to protect Port Charles from his domination. And there is only one person she can think of, Sonny. In the past, Laura had always tried to keep her distance from Sonny, even though she understood his significant influence in the city. She had never wanted a direct connection to his criminal world, but now everything has changed. Sidwell has gone too far, and if Laura wants to destroy him, she needs Sonny's strength to do so. The agreement between Laura and Sonny is no longer just about maintaining stability in Port Charles, it has become a fight for survival. Sonny agrees to cooperate with Laura not only for his own benefit but also because he realizes that Sidwell is becoming a serious threat. With Kevin dead, no one can guarantee that Sidwell will stop there. He could target others, continue to expand his power, and if no one stops him, Port Charles will never be the same again. Kevin's loss has not only affected Laura but also the entire community. Those who once believed Port Charles still had a chance for peace now realize they are in the midst of a war they cannot avoid. Anna, who had once been one of Laura's closest allies, is also getting involved in the fight, using all her investigative skills to gather evidence of the crimes Sidwell has committed. But Sidwell is not afraid of Laura's efforts or anyone else. He has gone too far to back down, and he believes that if he can defeat Kevin, no one can stop him. This only makes Laura's desire for revenge stronger. She is no longer just trying to protect Port Charles, she wants to destroy Sidwell at any cost. Kevin's death has laid the foundation for one of the biggest changes Port Charles has ever seen. Laura, once a calm and principled leader, is now becoming a woman willing to do whatever it takes to achieve justice on her own terms. Sonny, who once tried to avoid unnecessary conflicts, is now being pulled into an unavoidable confrontation. And Sidwell, who thought he had gained the upper hand, is about to face a storm he never saw coming. Port Charles is at the peak of chaos, and one thing is certain, no one will come out of this fight without losses. This is not just a battle between Laura and Sidwell, it's a battle to decide who truly controls Port Charles, and who will be destroyed in the process. Sonny has never been a stranger to the shadows, but this time, his mission is not just to protect his empire, but to fulfill a new role, the executioner for Laura. Kevin's death changed everything. Laura, who had once been a principled leader, now no longer has the patience to wait for justice in the traditional way. Sidwell declared war, and Laura understands that there is no way to stop him except by playing by his rules. But to do that, she needs someone who not only has power but also the ability to eliminate the enemy completely, and Sonny is the only choice. Sonny knows that this is not an easy task. He has spent many years trying to maintain a balance between the criminal world and his family life. But with Kevin's death and the growing threat from Sidwell, he has no choice. If he doesn't act first, the enemies will keep coming, and Port Charles will sink into chaos. But this time, unlike the past, Sonny is not just fighting for himself. He is carrying out Laura's orders, who is no longer a mayor trying to keep the peace, but a true strategist in the battle for power. These changes are not just a fight in the shadows, they are a complete shift in the way Port Charles operates. In the past, Sonny always operated within certain limits, maintaining a balance between crime and government. But now, with Laura accepting his way of working, the two are forming a dangerous alliance, a relationship that could forever change the power structure of the city. But being Laura's executioner is not just about eliminating Sidwell. It means Sonny must ensure his family continues to grow, not just in the underground world but also in the legitimate community. If he fails, not only will his empire collapse, but his family will become the target. This raises an important question: can Sonny maintain the balance between this dangerous mission and his responsibility to his family? Laura also understands that by relying on Sonny, she is placing herself in a dangerous situation. She is no longer a leader who follows the rules, she has become a woman willing to use the shadows to protect Port Charles. But is she going too far? Once she starts using Sonny as a tool to administer justice, can she still return to the righteous path? Port Charles has never faced such a power shift. Sonny is no longer just the mafia boss, now he is acting under the authority of the government. Laura is no longer the upright mayor, but she is gradually becoming a strategist willing to use any means necessary to achieve her goal. And Sidwell, who thought he could control everything, is about to face a force greater than anything he ever imagined. The story is entering its most chaotic phase. When Sonny officially becomes Laura's executioner, nothing can stop them. Either they will completely control Port Charles, or they will push themselves into a no-way-out war. One thing is certain, what is happening will change everything, and no one will remain the same. Laura may soon be forced to give up her mayoral seat as her increasingly reckless actions start to become a disaster not only for herself but for Sonny as well. Initially, their cooperation seemed like a strategic deal to maintain order in Port Charles, but now, Laura can no longer keep the balance between legal power and the criminal underworld. The thirst for revenge for Kevin's death has changed her. She is no longer a leader steadfast in her ideals of justice, she is becoming a woman willing to use the very methods she once condemned to achieve her goals. Laura has witnessed too much chaos in this city, but Kevin's death is something she cannot forgive. She once believed the legal system could deliver justice, but now she realizes it is not enough. Sidwell is not the kind of man the law can handle, he has money, power, and a network strong enough to slip through every loophole. If Laura wants to destroy him, she needs a different approach. But the issue is, Laura is no longer just a politician working with an underground power to protect the city. She is starting to think like the head of a real crime family, making decisions not based on the common good, but on personal desire. When she asks Sonny to carry out more dangerous tasks, when she pushes him into unavoidable confrontations with other powers, it has begun to make even her most loyal allies question, is Laura still the mayor of Port Charles, or has she truly become a criminal power figure? Sonny, who once thought that the deal with Laura would help both of them maintain power, now finds himself caught in a storm that he cannot control. As Laura grows bolder, as she starts using methods that even Sonny feels are too dangerous, he knows that this alliance is becoming more of a burden than an advantage. But the problem is, if Laura loses power, it also means Sonny will no longer have a legal shield protecting him. Over the years, he has built his empire not only through violence but also through cleverness, knowing how to maintain a relationship with the authorities to avoid being targeted. But now, if Laura is forced to step down, those who take her place may not be as friendly as she was. A new mayor could see Sonny as public enemy number one, and at that point, he would be completely isolated. Not only that, but if Laura loses power, other forces in the city might take it as a sign that Sonny's time is also coming to an end. Old enemies could return, new gangs could rise, and Port Charles would no longer be a place Sonny can easily control. If Laura is truly forced to leave the mayor's office, who will replace her? Someone loyal to her ideals, or someone with their own ambitions? Politicians like Jordan may feel betrayed by Laura's actions and choose to turn their backs on her, but what is even scarier is that someone like Sidwell may find a puppet to take power. If that happens, Port Charles will not only lose a principled leader, but it could fall into the hands of a lawless force. And at that point, not only Sonny but the entire city will be in danger. The scariest thing of all is that Laura may no longer care about keeping her mayoral seat. She has become so immersed in the revenge war that her position no longer matters as much as seeing Sidwell destroyed. If she is forced to step down, she might continue her fight from the shadows, and at that point, she could be more dangerous than ever. Can Sonny save her? Or will he have to make the hardest decision of his life, let Laura continue down this path of destruction, or stop her himself? Port Charles is on the brink of the biggest power crisis it has seen in years, and Laura, once the city's pillar, may be on her way to becoming one of the most dangerous figures this city has ever seen. If she cannot control herself, she will not only lose her power, she may lose herself entirely.